Hey there, Pisces. Welcome to your reading for the week of January 21st. This week, if you want to catch me live, I go live every single day at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, so you can catch me live. But let's see what is going on for you this week of the 21st. And all right. So this week you start off with the Seven of Clubs. You're probably going to be more focused on freedom this week, trying to free yourself from situations, trying to move forward from certain situations as well. Seven of Clubs is a card of escaping from prison. I would say that you, Capricorn, somebody else, like three signs are really focused on freedom right now, trying to break free from limiting situations, trying to move forward in some way. Yeah, I feel like you have to take some sort of risk. For some of you, I feel like this is in love as well. If you're looking for love, I feel like there's a risk you need to take. Could be going out, talking to people, doing whatever you have to do. For others, of course, it could be about money this week as well with these two cards. Next, you have the Lovers in reverse. This deck I'm using has 4 of the major arcana in it. And so some of you could be either having a hard time making a decision or having a hard time with love in general, trying to find love, trying to get love, trying to improve your relationship, whatever it is you're trying to do. This card here just says pay attention to the details. 8 of Diamonds is a card of like tiny little details, tiny little things that are going on around you. It's even, important to think about and to pay attention to what are you thinking about? How are you thinking? Or, how are your thoughts during the day? Are you thinking positively, negatively? How are you thinking? So it is a card of paying attention. It is a very good card for money, so it can represent more money coming in. This could represent a delay. I do feel for some of you, it's like you might have an idea to make more money. You might have a business idea or a job idea, but there could be some sort of delay here, or there could have been a delay in the past as well in like just making the choice to do it. So again, for some of you, I do feel that you're ready to start. I feel like if you're thinking about starting a business, more importantly, again, business is really popping into my head here. I feel like you just need to get started here with these two cards. I feel like it'll be very successful. This could also be some other type of project you're thinking about starting, like writing a book or, drawing or, whatever, anything creative. So this card just says get started now. In relationships, again, this would say put the work in to try to allow a relationship into your life. Next, you have the Ten of Spades and 6 of Clubs. So releasing burdens. Like I said, I feel like a lot of you could be trying to release things that are just weighing you down in a lot of ways with these two cards. Now, this can also be a card of moving or traveling. So some of you might be moving or traveling. And it can also be, a card of like sadness, depression, anxiety, and things like that. This card says you have too many responsibilities, and that's why you are feeling those things, or people are putting too much pressure on you. So this is definitely a card of needing to protect yourself, needing to take the time to stick up for yourself as well, or also needing to ask people for help. Pisces, we are terrible at doing that. So it is a card of needing to open up to people around you. This card says there are people who are willing to help. There are people who can remove any burden that you have on you, that want to help you as well. So I feel like this is about asking for help in anything difficult that you are dealing with at this time. For some of you, I feel like you might be having trouble letting go of a relationship. You have this card here in the 9 of Spades. So for some of you, it could be a relationship. It could also be the problem that again, some of you could be dealing with somebody who keeps popping back up. So, and that definitely shows up here, I would say. So I would say if you're dealing with somebody who keeps popping up, either tell them to stop, block them, or whatever, especially if you're trying to move on, is what I would say here. Next, you do have a very good card, 3 of Hearts. I call this an indicator card. Yeah, look, Ace of Hearts, love. So 3 of Hearts is an indicator card. To me, it just says things are moving forward in the right direction, even if they don't seem like it. To me, it also kind of puts a positive spin on some of these more negative cards, like the 10 of Spades, the 9 of Spades here as well. So it kind of just changes the direction of the reading. Again, in playing cards, we don't have reversals. We just have indicator cards, basically, that tell us which way the reading is going. Ace of Hearts, fortune after difficulty, moving as well. Moving comes up a lot for you, Pisces. It wouldn't really surprise me if you were, Pisces to me is definitely one of the signs that could potentially move very surprisingly over the next year. Or so, or even longer. And this could be a surprise move as well. Could come about as a surprise job opportunity, or pretty much anything else. But it could be very surprising. Again, it could be last minute. It could be all of a sudden you decide to move. It could be all of a sudden you decide you don't like where you live, and it could just be a move. For others, I do feel new love for you. If I'm being honest, for some of you, I don't think it's this month. I think I said this in the beginning of the year as well for Pisces. I felt like if you are waiting for love, if you don't have it, that it would be coming in more along the lines of, like in the springtime or a little bit later on. I feel like there are going to be better opportunities for you there. That doesn't mean, again, I always tell people, do not allow cards to control your life. If somebody pops up and you want to go on a date, go on a date. Don't don't, just because I say that there is no dating here doesn't mean that there isn't. So, again, but for most of you, I feel like, it could be a little bit in the future. Next, you have the Seven of Spades, internal fears that don't exist. Yeah, like I said earlier, I do feel for some of you, business-wise, there could be fears around getting a business started, or doing something that could be potentially making you money. Like I said, I have the chart up over here as well, and in the chart I can see how, for Pisces especially, that little voice in the back of your head is really loud. And I've said this to you before, Pisces, so needing to turn off that voice that says you can't do something, or you're not good enough, or whatever, I feel like you need to turn that voice off. This is also a card about learning your fears, learning about your fears, and learning about, like, why are you afraid of these things in the first place. I do feel a lot of Pisces doing a lot of like personal development type work, over the next, I'd say, probably 3-4 years, somewhere around there. And I feel like a lot of that work could be just like going back to your childhood and thinking like, why am I afraid of whatever? And then, realizing that it was because something happened to you when you were like 3 years old. So a lot of you could be doing that type of work as well. You could be doing this with a therapist, pretty much anybody. But I do feel like it'll lead to a lot of success. But amazing card for money, Pisces, so definitely more money coming in. And finally, Nine of Spades, blessing in disguise, yeah, definitely. For me to call this card a blessing in disguise, I need to see something, a 5. So you have 2 5s here. Whenever I have a 5 in the Nine of Spades, to me, it represents a blessing in disguise. So there could have been something that left your life recently, but it could have been a blessing in disguise, like I said here. If it did leave, and I feel like you might be realizing it, like around now, this week, or in the future. For others, this can represent a temporary position, like getting a temp job or a part-time job that turns into a full-time job. So again, don't be afraid to take a part-time position. It might turn into something full-time. I also feel like this could represent the opening up of money just into your life. So a lot of you might be noticing an increase, or you might be noticing how money is just easier to make. But Pisces, looks like a really good week. So thank you for watching, and enjoy your week.